25 years of my life. Every mistake I've ever made, the ones that cost me money, relationships, time, and peace of mind, compressed into the next few minutes. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to give you some polished highlight reel of my life. I'm going to give you the wreckage, the stuff nobody warns you about, the stuff you only learn by living through it, usually the hard way. Because here's the truth, mistakes are the most expensive teacher you'll ever have. Tuition paid in years, not dollars. And if I can hand you even a fraction of what I learned, I just saved you time you'll never get back. So sit still for the next few minutes. This is everything I wish someone had told me at 20. Chapter 1. Money. Let's start with money, because that's where most of us get hit first. Mistake 1. I thought saving money made me smart. For years, I stacked cash in a savings account and felt proud of myself. I watched the number grow and thought I was winning. What I didn't understand was inflation, the silent tax that eats your money while it just sits there. Every year that money sat still, it quietly lost value. I was working hard to stand still. The lesson? Money that isn't working for you is money that's slowly disappearing. Saving isn't the goal. Growing is the goal. Mistake 2, I said yes to every opportunity that looked profitable. Somebody would pitch me a sure thing and I'd jump in without asking the right questions. I lost money on businesses I didn't understand, investments I didn't research, and side hustles that drained more time than they ever paid back. The lesson? Broke people chase money, busy people chase time, but the people who actually build wealth protect both. They say no to almost everything so they can say yes to the right thing. Mistake 3, I confused income with wealth. I made more money in my 30s than I ever imagined at 20, and I felt richer. But income isn't wealth. Wealth is what you keep, what you build, what compounds while you sleep. I spent years financially busy without ever getting financially free. Lifestyle crept up every time my paycheck did, and I never noticed the trap closing until I was deep inside it. Chapter 2. Relationships. Now let's talk about the mistakes that hurt the most, the ones with people. Mistake 5, I mistook comfort for love. I stayed in relationships far longer than I should have, not because they were right, but because leaving felt harder than staying. Comfort disguised itself as connection. Familiarity disguised itself as compatibility. It took me years to understand that comfort without growth is just a slow kind of stagnation. Mistake 6, I avoided hard conversations to keep the peace. I told myself I was being kind by staying quiet. In reality, I was letting resentment build in silence, one unspoken sentence at a time. The peace I thought I was protecting was fake. It was just delay. And delayed conflict doesn't disappear. It compounds, just like debt. The lesson? The conversation you're avoiding is usually the one that would fix everything. Mistake 7, I let other people's opinions choose my relationships for me. I stayed in friendships out of guilt. I dated people because they looked good on paper to everyone else. I spent so much energy managing how my life appeared that I forgot to ask whether it actually felt right. 25 years taught me this. The people who truly matter in your life are rarely the ones who are loudest about being there. They're the ones who show up when nothing's being filmed, when nothing's being posted, when there's nothing to gain. Chapter 3. Career. Now the career mistakes, the ones that quietly shaped the next decade of my life without me even realizing it. Mistake 8. I chased job titles instead of skills. I wanted to be called manager. I wanted to be called director. I wanted the title on a business card more than I wanted the actual ability behind it. Titles disappear the moment the company restructures, downsizes, or simply moves on. Skills don't. Skills follow you everywhere, forever. Mistake 9, I thought hard work alone would get me noticed. I put in the hours. I stayed late. I did the unglamorous work nobody wanted to do, and I assumed someone was watching. Nobody was. Hard work without visibility is invisible. You can be the most capable person in the room and still get passed over if nobody knows what you're capable of. The lesson? Don't just do good work. Make sure the right people know you did it. Mistake 9. I stayed in jobs out of fear, not loyalty. I told myself I was being loyal to a company that, quite frankly, would have replaced me in a week if it needed to. Loyalty to an employer that doesn't reciprocate isn't virtue, it's fear wearing a mask. I lost years of growth staying safe in places that had already stopped growing me. Chapter 4. Health. Mistake number 10. I treated my body like it would forgive me forever. Late nights, bad food, skipped workouts. I acted like my body had unlimited patience for the way I treated it. It doesn't. Sleep debt, chronic stress, poor nutrition, none of it disappears. It just waits, and eventually it sends the bill, usually later than you expected and always bigger than you wanted to pay. Mistake 11. I confused busy with productive. I filled every hour of my day and called it discipline. In reality, I was avoiding rest because stillness made me uncomfortable. Burnout doesn't care how many hours you logged. It only cares how long you ignored the signs your body was giving you. The lesson? Rest isn't the reward for hard work. Rest is what makes hard work sustainable. Chapter 5. Mindset. Mistake 12. I waited to feel ready. I delayed decisions, opportunities, and risks because I was waiting for a feeling of readiness that never came. 25 years later, I finally understood. Readiness isn't something you feel before you act. It's something you build by acting, especially while you're still scared. Mistake 14. I saw failure as proof I wasn't good enough. Every setback felt like evidence against me. It took years to reframe it. Failure isn't a verdict, it's tuition. It's the universe charging you a fee for a lesson no book, no mentor, and no amount of advice could have taught you in advance. Mistake 15. I let fear of judgment shrink my decisions. I softened my ambitions so they wouldn't seem too much to other people. I stayed quiet about goals I actually cared about because I was afraid of looking foolish if I didn't reach them. What I know now, the people who judge you for trying are rarely the people building anything themselves. Reflection. 25 years, 14 mistakes. That's the compressed version, the short list pulled from thousands of smaller ones you didn't even hear about today. Here's what it all comes down to. Mistakes aren't the opposite of success. They're the price of admission. Nobody skips this line. Nobody gets a discount. The only real choice you have is how fast you're willing to learn from them. You don't need to relive every mistake I made. That's the entire point of this video. You can take the lesson without paying the same price I paid to learn it. But knowing isn't the same as doing. You actually have to apply this before life decides to teach it to you the hard way. And life is a far less patient teacher than I am. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one mistake from this list, just one, and fix it this week. Not someday, not when you're ready, this week. If any of this hit home, follow for more, because 25 years in, I promise you, I'm still not done being wrong, and neither are you. The difference is what we do with it.